beraberce devam edeceğiz. Soru cevaplarınız olursa lütfen siz arada bölebilirsiniz, bana sorabilirsiniz. Ya da bitişi bekleyebilirsiniz. Hani either way is okay for me. And from now on, we're gonna talk English. Please let me know if you have any questions regarding the topics that we're gonna cover today. As I told you last week, we're gonna go through Pindik. This is the book that we will use, and these are the slides are taken from the book itself. You can download the book from Google. It is free, I guess, if you want to just look at what we do in the class. On the other hand, for the class, I'm not take any attendance, or I'm not going to take any. I'm not going to give any assignments regarding the lecture. But you have a midterm and a final. Midterm will be 40%, and the final will be 60%. Okay. Therefore, you should really work hard in order to understand these topics. But on the other side, the lecture is not only looking at the models and analyzes. It also gives some information about the consumer behavior, the markets, which are oligopoly, monopoly, perfect competition, as well as how the money is seen as an incentive. Therefore, it is indeed really a very, very simple chapter today or tomorrow that we will go through. Next week we will go through. But of course, please do let me know if you have any questions. Doesn't make it wait sometimes at the end of the lecture, because it will gonna make you a step back. So what we will do today is the theme of microeconomics. What is market? Real versus nominal prices. Why study microeconomics? And we have some set of examples. I would like to tell you that sometimes I keep on these examples. I'm not going to do that because it is very related with the United States data and how it is shaped. So it will be better for me to just look at the analysis that has been done in Turkey, both from these examples. Therefore, if I skip these examples, you can read them at home. On the other side, I'm going to put the lecture to the website. Okay, you can download the PDF version or the Adobe the PPT version after the class. So it will be helpful for you to go over the course until next Thursday. So this is what is microeconomics and macroeconomics. So we're going to look at what is the difference between micro and the macro. Microeconomics is the branch of economics that deals with the behavior of individual economic units, consumers, workers, firms, investors, as well as the market that these units comprise. So what we understand from this is, we're going to tell after we talk about the macroeconomics. It is the branch of economics that deals with aggregate economic variables such as the level and the growth rate of national outputs, interest rate, unemployment, as well as the inflation. Therefore, we understand from the definitions that microeconomics, like we can suppose microeconomics is a tree, okay? Tree in a forest is microeconomics. Suppose we are just looking at, if you do, we are just looking at, especially in perfectly competitive market, whether the woman at home is doing the work or man is the work, okay? And on the other side, these branch of economics, like suppose there's a tree, okay? This tree is one in the forest, okay? This is individual. This is just one firm, maybe. This is one company, one business, one person. Therefore, it is dealt with, or it is like analyzed by just just for one person, okay, one individual, one company, one business. That means there is microeconomics. If you look at the macroeconomics, it is looking at the whole picture, like GDP growth rate, employment rate, sorry, the economic growth rate, as well as the seminars and everything that has been held, to check out the interest, unemployment, and the growth rate. So you see, in microeconomics, we are just looking at a very small part of the world, such as, and in macroeconomics, we are looking at the whole world. So microeconomics is the tree inside the forest. So the forest itself is macroeconomics. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. And the trade-offs, we have consumers, workers, and the firms. These can be a substitute to each other. How? Consumers trade off in the purchase of more of some good for less of others, like trade-off between current consumption and the future consumption. You suppose that your income will gonna increase in the future, so you stop consuming today and you're gonna stop consume in the following years, okay? And the workers trade off in their choice of employment, trade off between labor and the leisure, okay? So we know that there is 24 hours in a day. So it is completely depending on whether we want to spend more time on work or less time on work and more time on leisure. We're gonna decide which one to choose. If we spend more on work instead of doing leisure, if it is our choice, then the wage rate or the salary is higher. So that is the only thing that compensates this lost time in employment. And the trade-off in what to produce for firms is trade-offs in the resources to use in production every time. And the prices and the markets. Trades are based on the prices faced by consumers, workers, and the firms. In a centrally planned economy, prices are set by the government. So, do you have any idea about the central planned economy? Any idea? Any country that you can be able to provide? Anything? Central planned economy. Are you there?
Yes, but I don't have an idea about this.
Okay, any other? No one? Okay, I can provide an example for you. Russia, before it is collapsed, like it was Soviet Union. It is a central plant economy. Any other you can be able to provide?
Maybe North Korea.
North Korea, yes, North Korea is the example because North Korea is the only central planned economy right now in the world. Thank you. And the market economy, it's like the market economy that we are all in. Prices are determined by the interactions of consumers, workers, and the firms in the market. So, the collection of buyers and sellers that together determine the price of the goods. And theories and models. Do you have any idea about this? What are theories? What are models?
What kind of models or theories?
Econometric, of course. Econometric. Like in economy, like any science, economics is concerned with the explanation of observed phenomena and the predictions based on theories developed from a set of assumptions. Like theory is consumer behavior. Theory is household consumption. Theory is monopoly. Theory is budget constraints. Theory is demand and supply. Theory is elasticity. These are all theories that were proven previous years, and we are accepting them in the economy. And we solve questions about these topics easily depending on the equations and the models that were proven before. So a model is a mathematical representation based on economic theory of a firm, a market, or some other entities. And the statistics and the econometrics let us measure the accuracy of our predictions. Therefore, when evaluating a theory, it is important to keep in mind that it is invariably imperfect and has limited success in making predictions. So if you want to look at the positive and the normative analysis, it's very easy to get the logic behind is you will understand easily. Positive questions deal with explanation and a prediction. Normative questions with that ought to be. So I will gonna give an example for you. Okay. In 17th century, 1776, okay, or at the end of 17th, Phillips just looked at the relationship between inflation rate and unemployment rate in United Kingdom for like 25 years ago, or for the 25 years. The result is, in the short run, supply and demand are always equal to each other. In the long run, because inflation, unemployment rate is certain, that means it is natural rate of unemployment, inflation is increasing or decreasing, but it is in the long run. In the short run, there are always a negative relationship between each other. So it is a theory, okay? It is a prediction. It's not a prediction. It is a theory that is accepted. It is a positive analysis, okay? We accept it as positive analysis. They are proven. For normative analysis, it says it is ought to be. Like I say, in the next 3 months, unemployment will gonna be lower to 5%. This is my opinion. It can be or it cannot be. Okay? It is what ought to be. Any questions? for this?
Uh,
Yes, please.
I think it's just a guess, because you don't know the fundamentals things, like coronavirus or something.
Of course, yes. You don't know anything. You cannot imagine that there will be a coronavirus
Yes.
uh, separated from China to all over the world, and we were going to stay at home for about a year in quarantine. No one can imagine a situation like that, I guess, apart from the ones that know before. So it is like that. You are correct.
And I think it doesn't matter because you just guess and maybe you can follow your guess, and maybe you can, if you guess right, his name is Michael J. Burry, right?
But you cannot say that normative analysis will gonna be positive analysis. It's not true. You cannot make them positive analysis, although there has been so long years, or the proofs are really very realistic in order to say that yes, the diseases are indeed are not like normative analysis. Indeed, they are positive analysis. Okay, but we say positive analysis are always they are theories that are accepted, but the normative ones are ought to be you think that it will gonna happen, but it may not as well. Okay, we don't know. Like, I can provide an example. Suppose I am thinking about the inflation rate is very high right now, and I suppose in the following 3 months, inflation rate will be lower. It's my opinion. You don't have to like obey this, or you don't have to obey this. It's just not my opinion. So that's why it is normative analysis. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. And what is market? The market collection, market definition, and arbitrage. Market collection is the collection of buyers and the sellers that, through their actual and the potential interactions, determines the price of a product of a set of production. So it is very, very easy indeed to understand. The market is a place, okay, where there are buyers and the sellers, and they just make a selection of just make a selection of the products, okay, with the actual and the potential interactions. So the prices are determined by the buyers and the seller in the market, like perfectly competitive markets, and they are they really how we can say they really change the prices immediately depending on the factors, maybe the exogenous factors or in the internal factors. The market definition is a determination of the buyers and the sellers and the range of products that should be included in a particular market. And the arbitrage is practice of buying at a low price, okay, at one location, and selling at a higher price in another. So that means we are buying from like we can provide an example for you can provide an example like suppose China is producing very cheap products, right? Especially before pandemic. Most of the countries are getting many things from China, and they are, especially the companies, many companies are getting from there and selling to other countries. Okay, therefore they are making arbitrage. They are buying at a lower price at one location and selling at a higher price in another location. Is that okay?
Yes.
Any questions? No. Competitive versus non-competitive markets. Perfectly competitive market with many buyers and the sellers, so that no single buyer and seller has a significant impact on price. Let me tell you what are the titles or what are the uh, items of this perfectly competitive market. There are many buyers and sellers in the market. The buyers and sellers have no effect on price. Price is determined in the market by itself. There are no legal and barrier to entry to the market. Okay, and the products are homogeneous, or we can also say the identical. Therefore, all these perfectly competitive markets are dealing with these four items in order to be a competitive market. So that's why the buyer and seller has just a very, very, very close to zero effect on the price. Many other markets are competitive enough to be treated as if they were perfectly competitive. And other markets containing a small number of producers may still be treated as competitive for purposes of analysis. Some markets contain many producers but are non-competitive, that is, individual firms can jointly affect the price. Is there anything that you should ask? I'm sorry. And the market price prevailing in a competitive market. So in a market that are not perfectly competitive, different firms might charge different prices for the same product. The market prices of most goods will fluctuate over time, and for many goods, the fluctuations can be rapid. This is particularly true for goods and sold in competitive markets. The market definition. Extent of a market is the boundaries of a market, both geographically and in terms of the range of products produced and sold within it. For some goods, it makes sense to talk about the market only in terms of very restrictive geographic boundaries. We must also think carefully about the range of the product to include in the market. Therefore, market definition is important in two reasons. The first one is a company must understand who its actual and the potential competitors are for the various products that it sells or might sell in the future. This is the first question. And the second question is market definition can be important for public policy decisions. So now, if you have any questions, please do let me know and I will gonna answer before jumping into the next one. I cannot be able to hear you. I cannot be able to hear you. Are you talking? Are you here?
Yes, miss, but
Yes,
I don't have
here.
question.
So any questions or anything to add? Nothing?
I think no.
Yeah.
And
No?
because we are looking first time at the moment,
You are
maybe,
seeing everything for the first time.
of course, no.
Every definition is very new for you, right?
Of course, no, but I don't have any question about this. Maybe
Oh.
in future I will have.
Perfect. And what is market? Is an example, the market for sweeteners. It's an example from syrup, corn syrup, okay, which is accepted as a sweetener in most of the countries. I will gonna skip this example. It is providing some syrup, sugar syrup market in United States. You can read it at home. It doesn't matter. By the way, I will gonna put all these chapters, the chapters that I do in the class to the website, okay, to the Teams from files. You can download it easily. This is a bicycle market, two different bicycle markets, types of bicycles, the mass market and the dealer bicycles. So you see how the company prices are changing because of the dealer and the mass market bicycles, okay? And what is the real and nominal prices? The absolute price of a good unadjusted for inflation. So we understand that if we are talking about nominal price, there's still it includes inflation, okay? If we subtract inflation, okay, then we're gonna reach real price. So the nominal price minus inflation will gonna give us the real price. The consumer price index is the measure of the aggregate price level, and the producer price index is the measure of the aggregate price level for intermediate products and the wholesale goods. So generally we use, of course we use the other one, but generally we use CPI. You know very well about the Turkish name of it. Do you have any idea about CPI? CPI is it is giving us the change in the inflation rate in the country by using the prices. So we calculate how there is a change. Okay. The producer price index is for production. This is an example. After correcting for inflation, was the price of the butter more expensive in 2010? This is an example from the book, so it just write out this. I'm not going to do this example because it will not provide you the exact results because there are still missing things here in the question. But what I will going to tell you is we have a base year here, okay? When we are calculating the CPI or the inflation rate depending on the CPI, we always use here the base year. The base year is the first year. If it is not provided in the question is that like 2010 is the base year, then you will gonna get the first year as the base year. So what is the base year here? We have 3 years, 1970, 2005, 15, and 2010. So therefore 1980 is the first year. Okay. The other one is the here we will use it as an indicator. So here is another example, the price of the egg and the price of college education. Indeed, it's really very ridiculous to look at the compare and contrast the price of the egg and the college of education. However, this is just showing you how the inflation is changed depending on the years. We will gonna see here like the nominal prices, the consumer price index, okay, for the goods, and the real prices, the college education, and the A grade, okay, you'll see, and it is for 17s. You see how it increases? It is because of the inflation, of course. And the real versus nominal prices. How we calculate it, we will gonna solve questions next week so you will understand better. Real price of the egg is 1980s. As I told you, it doesn't matter. We have to see the we have to see in the question. The base year is the first year every time. In the question, if the first year is 1980, then it is the base year. So the real price of the eggs in 1980s, CPI 1970 over CPI 1980. Okay, multiply with the nominal price. Okay, then it's gonna give us the result. That's the same for the 1990s. The formula is the same. Only he wants to see why my blood has been changed. Here is the CPI. And now suppose we want to calculate the real price of the eggs in $1990. Okay. In 1970 is the base year. CPI 1980 or CPI 1970. Okay. Multiplied with the nominal price, we're gonna give you the real price. That's the same for the price of the egg in 2016. So if you want to make a comparison between these two, the change in the real price is just 0.34 as a minus, but you're going to put it in the absolute value. So the change in the real price is will be positive 0.34 if you are taking the absolute value. Here it reflects that the real price decreases accordance with the nominal prices. I'm just keeping this to why study microeconomics? We were going to use this Toyota Prius as an example throughout the class. In chapter 3, 4, 5, in chapter 6 and 7, 8 and 10, 10 and 11, 12 and 13, 2 and 9, you're going to see all of them. In all chapters, you're going to see Toyota Prius because they produced it and started selling it to the worldwide. And the design and the production involved not only some impressive engineering, but a lot of economics as well. Because it is economic, people generally choose it. And the policy design, fuel efficiency standards for 21st century. In 1975, the US economy improved regulations and designs, improved the average fuel economy of domestically sold cars and the light trucks. This is called as TAKE. Okay, the corporate average fuel economy. A number of important decisions have to be made when designing a fuel efficiency program, and most of these decisions involve economics. But firstly, the government must evaluate the monetary impact of the program on consumers. And before imposing this, it is important to estimate the likely impact of those to the standards which will have on the cost of producing cars and light trucks. Okay, so the government must also ask why problems related to all economic consumption are not solved by our market-oriented economy. So this is the end of this first chapter. Do you have any ideas? I cannot be able to hear you. Do you have any ideas? Do you want to discuss something with me? Do you want to ask something to me? Nothing? Are you there, by the way?
Yes, I'm thinking now.
Okay. Any questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Is the thing we call CPI TÜFE or something different? I can't understand.
That is correct. TÜFE.
Thanks. Okay, thanks.
And production price index is the TEFE in Turkish.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Any more? So if you don't have any questions, we will gonna stop today. And next time, next week, we will gonna go through together. I will gonna put the chapters, by the way, to the website. From Teams, you can download it. I will gonna put this, the next week's chapter too. You can download it as well. But I will gonna find some questions to you. So you will solve the questions next week together. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. So I will gonna see you next time, next week.
See you.
Okay. Take care.